out at the beautiful Banner shooting range. It's one of our funnest days. New gun day, that's right. Time to check out for the first time the Ruger LCP Max with the Magpul enhanced handgun grip. This is, I would say, the newest version of the LCP Max done by Ruger. They've changed up the slide on it slightly to resemble more of the RXM, slightly, shall we say, to go along with that Magpul enhanced handgun grip. Let's put a couple magazines through it to start the day today. I'll start with the 13-round magazine that kind of completes the look, shall we say, of the firearm. To start the day, I have two, half-size, quarter-size silhouettes at 7 yards. For this first magazine, I'll do some with my normal grip. We might do some one-handed, off-handed, etc. Let's see how the first mag goes. Here we go. 13. I might have said 12. It's a 13-round magazine. Okay. Pretty easy to articulate the slide. Not easy 380 easy, but certainly easier than some pocket 380s. The humidity today is about 1,000%, so I'm going to complain about it a lot. I'm sorry. Anyway, here we go. Left-hand target. Okay. From here, with my glasses fogged up, maybe 3 or 4 in the what we'll call the 10 ring. We'll do a couple more, and I'll transition to one-handed and whatnot. Here we go. Okay, well, I can't see it all. My glasses are so fogged up. We put some hits on the paper. I don't know if we put any hits on the paper one-handed. Let's do the 10-round magazine, and we might mix in some double taps. Here we go. Oh, one-handed, right? Start left-handed. I will say right off the bat, the little bit of extra size difference, even with the 10-round mag, it seemed to be less recoil intense than the LCP Max, which we have with us, and we'll shoot a little later. Let's take our first break from the range and take a closer look at this new LCP Max. At first glance, what we're going to call the EHG looks like the same old LCP Max, but with a new grip. But when looking a little closer, you'll spot some slight changes to the slide serrations, and the lines in general have been updated to make the EHG look a little more like the Ruger RXM pistol. This is a good spot to mention holsters. With this pistol just starting to hit store shelves, at least as of last Thursday, there are no holsters available for this pistol beyond the one-size-fits-some type holsters. You might think the original LCP Max holsters work, but there's a slight tweak to the frame that appears to throw a nay-nay in those plans. You'll notice that difference here. The holster included with the EHG, in my opinion, doesn't fit properly to be usable beyond maybe a storage holster. The sights on the EHG are the same sights as those on the original LCP Max. In similar fashion, the trigger is also the same Ruger Secure Action trigger. For my EHG, off my gauge, the trigger pull comes in at approximately 4 pounds. As of this video's creation, the EHG is only available with the thumb safety. Unfortunately, it's a right-hand only safety. Sorry, lefties. But on the bright side, the magazine release is reversible. Before we dive a little deeper into the EHG discussion, let's see this EHG back in action. On camera, I'm going to reload the 13-round mag. I know usually we cut this part out, but I'm doing it because I want to show, well, you'll see what we're going to show. Yeah, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Okay, we are up to 10, no problem. 11. I'm going to brace against my belly because my hands are sweaty. There's 12, right? So 12. Can we get the 13th warrior in the magazine? Holy shnikes. Didn't even need the mag loader. Take that, Smith & Wesson. For part 2, shall we say, I'm going to be wearing gloves because the humidity, it's gone up to 14 million %. Thanks, Aquaman. And because the humidity is just so outrageous, I want to try to give these firearms a fair chance in terms of not me making them look even worse than I already do. So we're going to wear gloves on to try to mitigate the sweaty palms effect. We have 4 8-inch targets set up at 7 yards. Conveniently, we have 4 380s today. The LCP Max EHG. The original LCP Max. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2. It happens to have a micro optic, ignore that. And the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2 Carry Comp. With the laser op, so he wouldn't confuse us today. Anyway, here we go. We're going to do a magazine at each of these targets using each of the firearms so that we can try to say how they feels in the hand, different if such a thing is a thing. Most of these are going to have 10. The EHG will have 13. Let's start with that at our top left target. Here we go. We're just going to do slow measured shots. I'm going with, it felt like I was doing a lot better than the results indicate. Let's see if the LCP Max is any better. Bottom left target, 10 shots. Okay. What I'm going to call surprising. LCP Max appears to have the edge. That could just be familiarity. Top right target, Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2. It happens to have a micro optic. It is what it is. Here we go. Good. Hey. Very noticeable difference in recoil between the LCP Maxes and the Bodyguard 2. What I'll probably do is reload each magazine with some of our Fiocchi ammo and do Bodyguard 2 against the EHG after we do the carry comp. Carry comp, bottom right target. Hey. I don't know. It's hard to. Let's give the newest Ruger a chance at redemption. Let me reload real quick. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 10 more from the original Bodyguard. And what we care more about is recoil than where the holes go on paper. Because in some ways, the micro optic on the Bodyguard 2, it gives it an edge in terms of the accuracy potential. So hopefully in the future, because we've actually been asked about this one quite a bit, we'll get to try out the Ruger Ready Dot on one of our LCPs. So hopefully in the future that happens. Anyway, here we go. I got sweat dangling into my nose. It's for the real, like an added distraction. So, okay, there we go. Now both firearms won't have a distraction to contend with. Ruger LCP Max Enhanced Handgun Grip. Again, top left target. Let's see if we can redeem ourselves. It's got to all be my fault how bad those first 13 went. Here we go. Maybe slightly better. Now, in terms of the accuracy, time for that recoil comparison. Top right target. Even with the fatter, bigger grip, is it more longer in the hand? I would say the length of the grip doesn't come into play for me, but certainly the fatness of the grip makes the LCP Max, when you're not firing it, I would say feel better in the hand. But even with that extra, we'll say girth, giggity, it does not put it on the same level in my experience as the Bodyguard 2 in terms of felt recoil. That lower bore axis, in my opinion, after day one, is having a greater effect on minimizing recoil than just making the LCP Max girthier in the hand. Giggity. Don't worry, we'll be doing a more in-depth comparison video for the EHG for the original LCP Max and another for the Bodyguard 2s in the future. Day one answered some questions while introducing others. For example, I don't have a 12-round magazine for the LCP Max. I think a big unanswered question is how the LCP Max with a 12-round magazine compares to the version with the enhanced handgun grip and its 13-round magazine. That's a question we'll tackle in a deep dive against the LCP Max. One of the questions you probably have is, how does the EHG stack up size-wise versus the Bodyguards and the original? beyond some comparison pics, let's take a moment to pierce the veil of one of the little games firearms manufacturers play. On these pocket-sized pistols, wherever possible, like slide width versus grip width, or weight with an empty mag or no mag, anything and everything you can think of to try and get a marketing material edge, these companies, they're going to do it. You might notice the EHG gives 0.75 inches as the slide width, for example. But when I originally got numbers from Ruger for the LCP Max years ago, they used a width at a wider spot, I'm guessing the grip, and listed it as 0.924 inches. Now, I took weights using my super scientific Amazon postage scale, both empty and with these magazines fully loaded with Hornady critical defense. And I also took size measurements using my calipers. Because my original Bodyguard 2 has the optic, I left it off. Anyway, you'll notice as far as widths go, depending on where you measure, it's easy to list any of these four as the smallest. When it comes to weights off my scale, some will find it very interesting that the EHG with one extra round weighs the same as the carry comp with 12 rounds. With how Lilliputian the differences are, will they affect concealment? That's a hard question for me to answer until we have some better holster options available. Again, that's another topic we'll try to tackle in a future video. One question we can tackle today that we'll revisit in greater detail is the recoil one. After day one, I found the EHG easier to control and handle the recoil of compared to the original LCP Max. There was enough of a difference to notice it, but it only went so far. Against both of the Bodyguard 2 and the Bodyguard 2 carry comp, the little bit of extra size of the EHG was not enough to overcome the difference of the lower bore axis of the Bodyguards, in my opinion. Before we get into our final thoughts after day one, it's time for one final day one test of the EHG. I'll tell you what. Oh, on a day like today where the humidity is about 14 gajillion %, this personal AC worth its weight in gold. So, assuming you can get it to turn off. Anyway, let's get to it. Put our gloves back on. Give these firearms the greatest chance they can get today. Even though our gloves are pretty much soaked through. 10 shots. Federal HST from our LCP Max with the enhanced handgun grip at our left hand 1.5 inch challenge target. I had one round of the Blazer ammo left over, so it gets a bonus 11th round at the end. Here we go. Do my eyes feed me? Did we put it on the target? Holy shnikes. Bonus 11th shot. I think that one just off the left edge. Okay, so because my Bodyguard 2 has the micro optic, we're going to use the carry comp with the iron sights to be slightly more fair. Here we go. Right hand challenge target, only 10 shots. Okay. We have some hits low on the target. We'll have to refer to target cam. It might be neck and neck or draw. So let's get to our conclusion. Our first range session with the new LCP Max in the Magpul Enhanced Handgun Grip showed this new LCP option has big potential. Those small changes may negatively affect concealability, but the current lack of holsters make it hard for me to comfortably comment on that front. The recoil of the EHG, while better than the original LCP Max, still is noticeably behind the Bodyguard 2s. The trigger on the EHG I'd call good enough. I've never been a fan of these secure action trigger, and that stands on the EHG, but it works. The texture difference of the grip I find to be a positive change. Compared to both the original LCP Max and the Bodyguards, I find that Magpul texture to be better. On a side note, in 10 billion% humidity like it was today, without gloves, the sweaty palms effect caused my grip to go wild for all 4 pistols, so better texture only went so far. When it comes to sights, I prefer a little more pinpoint, smaller dot front sight, but that big dot is easy to see and pick up quick at the expense of pinpoint accuracy, but it does work really well as well. The sights are one reason for the better groups from both Bodyguards, though less felt recoil also is a factor. With 0 failures, we had excellent reliability today, though there's a small sample size. But 0 failures is always good. All in all, the Ruger LCP Max with the enhanced handgun grip might not be as concealable as the original LCP Max, and it still doesn't match the Bodyguard 2s on the recoil front, but it is a welcome step in the right direction towards keeping the LCP Max family competitive with the Bodyguard 2s, in my opinion. Will that gap close even further with more practice and range time? Odds are good it does. And we're very much looking forward to putting that to the test. And that seems like the perfect spot to end our first video on this LCP Max with the enhanced handgun grip. Do you think the EHG puts the LCP Max back on equal footing with the Bodyguard 2? Or do you think it's a step in the wrong direction? Let us know in the comments. Well, Fred and I, we really appreciate you getting this far. If you enjoyed today's presentation, like it, share it with your friends and family, maybe drop a comment on there. Those things are free, and they really help the channel greatly. If you'd like to help us make more videos like this in the future, look into becoming a member. Again, thanks for watching, and as always, have a nice day.
Now I'm going to need all of you in the Bacon Nation to have a seat right over there.
Did I get it? Yeah.
10 yards.
I'm thankful for you. I appreciate everything you do. So stay safe, stay healthy, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll see you on the TV. And, take care of Fred and Corey when you can. You know what it is.